Today we're going to show you how to verify that you do have shadow copies enabled through command line. And if you don't have shadow copies enabled, we are going to show you how to correctly set shadow copies to do what you need it to do for various reasons. So let's go ahead and we're going to open up a PowerShell prompt here, and a very basic command here: VSS admin list shadows. This is going to list any shadow copies available that are there, if any. So we hit enter. If you notice here, it says no items found that satisfy this query. By seeing that, tells me there are none. Shadow copies are not enabled on any of these disks. So what we can do is we can open up Explorer here and right click on the C drive and say configure shadow copies. As you see here, C drive says it's disabled. It does have 3 shares. Let's enable this. Yes, to enable the shadow copies. You're going to see a date come down here because it's going to take one automatically. And by default, what happens is if you click on settings, it uses the limit. Right here, it looks like it is roughly 12 gigs of data. Looks like it uses about 10% of your hard drive. If you need this lowered or increased, be good. 10% is usually a good rule of thumb to have available for your shadow copies. If you click on schedule here, by default, it's set at this. There's 2 of them here. It happens at 7 a.m. every day and at 12 p.m. every day. I've noticed that this is a fairly common one that we don't tend to change at all. 7 a.m. one usually is a good one right before people get into work for the day, and then noontime is another good checkpoint that if something happens, afternoon, we can always revert back to the noontime shadow copy as opposed to going all the way back to the beginning of the day. But feel free to put more in here by all means. That works as well, and you can do it. This is you can even set it to daily, and you can say set to every day. I believe here weekly. By default, it was set to every weekday, which for business users, for the most part, is pretty good. So we like to leave that intact and keep that the way it is. That's good. That's good. And as you see here, you can create another one here at any time you want. This revert button here actually will bring you back to a current one. So if you click OK here, now if we go back here and we run this list shadows, it should show us that drive C has a shadow. And as you can see here, contents of shadow copy ID set. And it contains 1 shadow copy. Here's the creation time. So that tells you there that your shadow copies are working. We like to show that it depends on if we click here and we create another one. So now we have 2 of them. You go to list shadows. Now it's going to show you the 2. It's going to show you every single one that is created there. And when you do reach the 12 gigs of space for shadow copies, it will delete the last remaining one from at the most the time that's furthest back. It will delete that one. So you just want to keep an eye on that as well, and make sure you have a sufficient amount of shadow copies for you to revert back to in case you ever need to. So it's pretty straightforward. This all works the way it should, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial.